like when we was growing up, you naturally was attracted to the women that was, Maya or whoever the woman was that you liked when you was growing up. Maya. I don't really like them that light skin like that. I like
Who was you liking? So you was liking India Arie?
No, I never liked India Arie. Honestly, you want to know the truth? I was in the 5th grade, bro, and I remember.
Carrie Hilson looked good too.
Yeah, they both fine, but they not fine as the one I was on. When I was in the 5th grade, man, it changed my life. I remember the album came out, and my pops had the tape, and I remember opening the tape, and I said, "This is it."
Erykah
Badu, brother. This 5th grade, bro. I'm like, this is it right here. This is it for me.
You knew you was gonna be in a dashiki. One day. That nigga knew one day. This nigga knew. I guarantee you, from the 5th grade, this nigga knew he was gonna be burning sage in his house.
I knew it, man. Hey, the truth is the truth, man.
This nigga was born with sage in the dashiki.
God body, man. You feel me?
Boys. I ain't never heard nobody say Erykah Badu.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, when that first album came out, I think that was 95. I remember my mom, Baduism. When Baduism came out, they had the tape. I opened the tape up. I saw her eyes, her whole thing, and I was just, this is it for me.
You saw her eye. What was her eyes got you? So you one of them, you Andre 3000, DOC, J Electronica nigga. Like, you the next nigga in line. Her eyes capture you.
No, I see. It's more than eyes. I'm a thigh and an ass man, right? And she got a nice shape. I like sweet women. She's from the South. She's a sweet woman. She can cook. She can sing. I got a thing for women that can sing too. Yeah. And she just a sweet. She cool. She from Dallas. You feel me? She got her body right. She got the right accent. She just right. She just.
Erykah Badu ain't no joke.
And I seen her a couple times in person. She's solid, bro.
I think Erykah Badu. She cast spell on niggas.
Oh, for sure. She says she's a witch. Yeah. I believe it.
Well, she cast good ones, though. You just get hooked on her. You feel me?
Bro, I've talked to some witches before, man. That's a real thing. Women that practice, I'm telling you, bro. It's a real thing.
I believe it, bro.
It's cool. You know what I'm saying? But just where I'm at right now with my walk with God and all that, I can't play with it. You feel me? I can't play with it at all.
What is a real witch?
I mean, they comes in all different shapes and sizes. Most white women that practice Judaism, especially white women that's in Hollywood, that's all black. They call it the Kabbalah. Yep. That's all black magic. That's all they practice. I was having a conversation yesterday. The boy Heath Ledger that played Joker. Yeah. A lot of times these Hollywood actors will go into these seances and all that so they can get into character. They'll summon things. They'll do all kind of stuff to get into character. And I believe that's what happened with the Joker. And that's why, and it's not to be disrespectful to the situation, the brother lost his life. Yeah. But a lot of times when you playing with stuff you don't really know about, or if you don't have no strong foundation in the truth, you can get caught up in something else, and you don't know how powerful it is. Like, it's nothing to play with.
Is what certain pastors do the opposite of black? Is that not like the same thing?
If certain pastors do the opposite, you talking about tapping into the light, to the positive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's the same power, right?
It's the same thing. It's from the same. It's not from the same source, right? It's you got light and dark, but
it all come from one source.
It all come from one source for sure. That's a fact.
They say it was dark first, then let there be light.
You're right. So it all come from one source.
Black is not a color. Black is the source that all the colors come from.
Okay. All right, Bill Nye. Okay. Yeah.
Preach,
but I'm just saying, if you dipping into that, a lot of our people feel like, we got the back to Africa. We think that we were the Egyptians. We think that we was the pharaohs and all that, right? But if you
who were they though?
If you tap into the word, we was the Hebrews that was in bondage. If you tap into the word of God, Moses had to go over there and free us, right? Okay. So the true people, we was the people in bondage, like the true Israel. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So a lot of black people get things messed up and they doing all the ashe, bashe, and all that stuff, which is cool if that's what you believe in, but you got to realize the source of what you're doing and where that source is, where it's coming from. Because it's all powerful. It's all very powerful, and it's all real. If you do if you believe in it, it's very real.
You think witches and shit is real? Black magic is real.
Black magic is 100% real.
Voodoo is real.
100%.
Voodoo, but
whatever you believe in, you put enough thought, it's real. That's a fact.
Oh, understood. So if you don't believe in it, then they can't cast a spell on you.
Well, if you
how that shit work if it's real and if this woman a witch and she say, "Hey, nigga, watch this. I'm gonna get you to fall in love with me. And I was like, I don't believe in that shit. And she believe in it, and she do her little ritual, whatever she do, wow, cast a spell on him, put whatever, take a nigga hair, put it in this, you know what I'm saying? Or put some shit in the nigga spaghettis, and then what?
But see, if you don't have no foundation and nothing, if you don't have no hedge of protection on you, if you don't know what the truth is, then you subjected to all of that. So that's why it's important for you to have your own relationship, and you solid. You walk out the house and you got your armor of God on, whatever that means for you. Like,
is there one truth or?
No, I think it's relative. It's not one.
But see, that don't make sense.
I mean, the truth is the truth. It is one truth. Yeah, the truth is the truth.
Yeah,
to me.
That's it.
But I guess to make people feel better.
Ain't no way around. Yeah.
No, the truth is the truth, whether you want to accept it or not. Like it say, every knee shall bow. You gonna bow. You gonna bow whether here or in the after. Matter of fact, let me play this for you.
Like this, I'll say this: everybody bowed to some way or another, whether on a small scale or a large scale. Motherfuckers would be doing all of this bad shit. Like Tekashi, that nigga bowing down. That's bowing.
Yeah, but see, I think he's still playing with it. But it's gonna come a time.
No.
I'm gonna play this story.
Right now he in jail. That nigga want to come home.
Oh yeah, he talking to God for sure. For sure.
But when he get home, what's gonna go on?
He might be playing with it. But see, it's. I don't want to be all preachy because I don't know. I don't got it all figured out. I'm still infant in my walk with God, man. But I know the truth is the truth, and it would behoove you to live your whole life. Like I see some cats on Facebook like, where was Jesus when we were slaves and all that? Like they hide behind the Jesus thing. Like get outside of that. Like look, just get to the word of God and get from behind the white man gave you Christianity and all that. It ain't about Christianity. Just get to the word of God, man. Just get to the truth. And you will be a fool to hide behind that for your whole life. Like, I ain't reading that, I ain't doing none of this. And then you get to the end of your life and you realize, oh shit, this was real. And I've seen it happen. I've been with a number of people on their deathbeds. Right. And regardless of what type of life they live, I'm talking about from, gangsters and trappers, whoever, selling dope, whatever the case, whatever you do. When it comes down to them last couple breaths, you trying to get right. That's a fact.
I feel like depending on the way you receive the information in the Bible,
and with every step,
or depending on who your pastor is or who you talking to, the Bible has a way of cutting off your opinion and your real human thought process, meaning
than it was the window.
That is a real question.
Right. So
niggas ask that every day, bro.
What's that?
Niggas be on the street struggling, and then when they finally get the money and people want money from them, it's like, nigga, where was you at when I was struggling? You was literally nowhere around, right?
That's a fact.
So if somebody asks him, where was Jesus when we were slaves? You punished me. You saying you punished me for some shit that my ancestors did?
Well, if that's
that is a valid question. But people that some religious people are taught not to question the word of God. Mm-hmm. Nigga, that's a valid question. How you gonna tell me not to question something to somebody that I don't even never saw before?
I understand.
It's all faith at the end of the day. Me, I rock with God. Anything past that is confusing to me. But I feel like I don't need no T.D. Jakes or no Joel Osteen to get to God.
No, you don't.
And the Bible was just
you can go home and get to God.
Yeah.
And you can tap in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't have to go through all those extra avenues to get to God.
But I'm not a fool, right? But I'm not a fool to see that is a valid question though, because that's like question. That. Think about it. If Jesus himself walked in this interview right now, nigga, what questions would you have on the paper for him?
A lot of them.
That's gonna be one of them.
But see,
if Jesus was on the Breakfast Club, they gonna ask
that already though. Like for all those people that's hiding behind slavery. And they saying, well, I don't want to tap into the word of God because we were slaves and where was Jesus at? If you look to Deuteronomy, I think it's Deuteronomy 28, it tells you why you're going to be a slave. It explains it. He gives you in the word of God, he tells you exactly what's going to happen to you in the land where you're not supposed to be at. It's a fact, and you can read it. And he said for disobedience.
But I wasn't there.
I understand, but if you have any questions as to why Jesus wasn't there with you, or you'll perceive why he wasn't with you in slavery, you go read Deuteronomy 28. and it'll say, okay, for 400 years, this is what's going to happen to your people for this and that, for these reasons, based on what your people have done.
That's some cutthroat shit.
It's a fact. That's how God get. God is a gangster. We already established that. God is a gangster.
Nobody
He's not playing.
Accept that.
No, God guys, and he got soldiers.
But at the same time, I don't know. It's like, bro, nigga, you punish my great grandmother for some shit that she don't even know nothing about. You punishing all of us for 400 years for. But actually, black people ain't never been on top as long as I've been on this planet, nigga. We can never get out whatever rut we in as long as I've been on this planet.
But who are the most? Everything comes out of black folks. So it's like
we don't get shit from it though.
We do.
No, we don't. We the entertainers of the whole world.
Why is that?
Because that's what we do.
Well, why though?
Because that's the way it's set up and that's the way it still is.
But we don't have to. We don't have to succumb to that. It's all free. It's all free choice. It's all free will.
No, I'm saying this is what it is. Like we're the same way. We know Kanye's a weirdo. We know he's crazy, but he was not crazy when he had that interview about Sway and telling them people was not letting him up there at the top. You only getting so far. You dig? The same way today. Whenever you veer off from entertainment a little too far, from entertaining these people, and your ass gonna be locked up. That's what you see just today. These niggas, they probably put themselves in a position, but they all getting knocked off. Harvey Weinstein ain't got knocked off yet.
Right.
They started Michael Jackson and trickled their way all the way down. He was the biggest all the way.
Absolutely.
It's a certain. You don't get to a certain.
But you got to understand why those people in power are even in power, and the covenants that they've agreed to for them to even be there. You got to, like, if we get to the source and we talk about the Nephilim and all of that and how everything was dispersed. Yeah. Why are white folks doing this? Why is corporate America ran like this? Why anywhere in the country we go, if it's nice, white folks live there. If it's fucked up, we live there.
Yeah.
Like, why is that, right?
Right.
We got to look to that. We look into the Masons. Like, what is that shit for real? Right? We look into the Catholics. What is that for real, for real? You know, they suing the Pope. All the people that was sexually abused by the Pope, they're trying to sue the Pope right now.
Right.
Right? Now, we're going to see what's going to happen with that. I'm sure it won't reach the courts. Right?
Right.
But we got to understand why these people are in power. It's not a coincidence.
Right.
It's not a coincidence.
That's my point. That's all I'm saying. That's like if you telling a kid, like you find a young black kid, right? And a lot of black people like to say, oh, you a king, you a black king, you a black queen, and all of this shit, right?
Right.
Me, if somebody really telling me that, why the fuck are we on the bottom then? How am I the king? We don't run shit. How?
How can I say this?
So for me, it's like, you got the power. So God said, okay, y'all turn, you get this power, and then after y'all power is up, then they get the power now. This is some bullshit that don't make sense to me.
It makes sense. If you go read Deuteronomy, it'll make sense to you.
But this is why. Nigga, you got people that died that never got to see none of it. So their existence was what?
You believe in reincarnation?
You put these people. I do believe. I don't know, bro. But if you believe in I don't. But if I do, I can tell you, I don't believe you was reincarnated.
I've heard that you actually choose the body you go in when you reincarnate and you born. You choose the body based on the mission.
Nobody can tell you that. Can't nobody tell you that. That's the same thing as reading the Bible. Can't nobody. It's all based on faith and belief and what you choose to believe
and experience and conviction.
Cause I ain't never seen no nigga that died and got reincarnated and he came back and doubled back and said, "Nigga, I got reincarnated."
Hold on,
as me.
Wait a second. We got something here for you. This is one of the rawest comedians. His name is Doodoo Brown. Right. This brother used to eat vagina on stage.
On Comedy Hype.
Yes, you watched that.
Yeah, I saw.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Did you? Now this is a story that I've heard from different people.
I'm saying he's explaining how it felt when he died. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm speaking on something different. I'm talking about reincarnation. He didn't come back. He didn't die and come back in a different body.
He died and came back in the same body. But the what's important is the message of the lesson that he's talking about. Because this is coming from a brother who from the streets was the rawest comedian. And if he's talking like this, it's like, again, we don't want to be preachy, but it will behoove you to get to the end of your life thinking that everything is one way, and then you realize, oh shit, it ain't.
I would think that you would be a little too arrogant to think that don't no fucking God exists.
So you feel like atheists are just arrogant?
Way too. You obviously didn't create. You for sure didn't.
Yeah.
Feel me?
I feel you.
You know it's a God that exists. That's now weak Mike can change the verbiage for you so you feel better. Right. Whichever you want to call them. If you want to say the universe is God, or you don't want to use the word God, or whatever deity, however you want to say it, it exists. It's a higher power. Something is in control of this shit.
That's a fact.
And you not.
So as an atheist, you just arrogant to think that you the center of the universe and there ain't nothing else higher than you.
Yeah.
You tripping.
Yeah.
I want y'all to hear this story, man, from Doodoo Brown. We're gonna let this run. This is like I said, this is a brother in comedy. Y'all can look this up on Comedy Hype. They do some really good interviews. He told a story about when he passed away and what happened and what led him back to his body, man. Y'all check this out.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just slide out of the windowsill, slide my back down, and just sit on the floor, so that if anybody try to come to the windowsill, I can stop them. Hey, and I'm just sitting down for a second, So I slid out of the windowsill, sat on the floor. It was hotter on the floor than it was the window.
Okay.
It smelled like feet and ass. That's because I'm down on the floor, by people's thighs or whatever. It stunk. It was twice as hot. So I said, you know what? I need to get out of here. I need some air.
Okay.
So I got up. I started walking out, away from the stage, walking towards, and with every step, I knew that I was finna fall out. I got scared. So I started trying to find my baby mama. I started looking for her. I was like, I need to make it to her. With every step, bruh, I was weaker and weaker. I knew I was finna fall out. So by the time I got to her, I was like, look, you're not gonna be able to say much to her. So you need to think of something you can say, like, how are you gonna tell her to help you? Like, what's wrong with you? So when I made it to her, I lied. I said, I think somebody put something in my drink. That's the only thing I could think of. Like, maybe she thinks somebody spiked my drink or something, you know. I didn't know, man. I was scared. And I said that, I think somebody put something in my drink. And I hit the floor. Boom. I boom, forward. I fell forward. Boom. I hit the floor. Once I hit the floor, I started falling. You understand? I hit the floor, then I started falling. I was falling backwards, though. I was falling like this. In a pitch black darkness. It was a blacker than I had ever experienced. Mm-hmm. It was darker than you ever close your eyes? If you close your eyes long enough, after a while you can kind of pick up on, I don't know, try it. Close your eyes and after a while your eyes kind of adjust even to the darkness.
Understood.
No, bruh. My eyes was wide open and there was no light, bruh. It was devoid of light. There was no light. I was falling fast. Like somebody pushed me off a building or something. I was falling like my legs was in the air. My arms flailing. So I started trying to grab stuff. Like, I didn't know where the fuck I was. I was falling in a pitch black darkness. There was nothing to grab. There was no wall. There was no nothing. It was the scariest thing I ever experienced since or before. I never experienced nothing this frightening ever. I was falling fast. And I didn't know where I was gonna land. I was just falling. Mm-hmm. And it was black. I couldn't see nothing. And then I said, Jesus. I said, Jesus. And when I said it, I stopped fighting. I stopped reaching for stuff, I relaxed. I relaxed on the name. And I closed my eyes. Even though I couldn't see shit anyway. I said, Jesus, I just stopped fighting. And I closed my eyes and I was like, wherever I land, I land. I just concentrated on him. When I did that, when I stopped fighting the fall, I started rising. I could feel myself rising. I was rising. I was, I wasn't falling no more. I was ascending. I was coming. I was up until I felt myself like click back into my physical body. Now I could hear. Now I was face down on the floor again. I could hear all the fuss being made over me. And I opened my eyes, I looked, and people were like, you okay? You all right? And I lift my hands up, people picked me up. They said, you all right? I said, hell no. I said, I need to get some air. I need to get the fuck out of here. I need some air. And they took me outside, I threw up, and I never shared with anybody what I experienced. Right. All they know is I fell out, but I didn't fall out. I didn't fall out. I died. I died and my soul cast into the abyss. That's why it was so dark, because God was not there. He had cast me away from him, a judgment I deserved. But whosoever will believeth in his Son shall not perish but have everlasting life. And that's why I'm able to sit here and give that testimony. Because what if I called my mama? Well, mama! My ass would still be falling. You know what I'm saying? Any other thought other than Jesus would have sent me. They would say, oh, he collapsed at the concert and died.
Right. How long did time go by for you to realize that you did have that type of experience?
A few months. Because I started reading my Bible more. Because the experience tripped me out, bruh. I fell forward on the floor. And then I was falling. Falling backwards as if I was falling so fast, I had to have been falling from a great height. Because I was falling fast. You know what I mean? So it had to have been like a great height to be still falling at that rate of speed and have not yet hit bottom. You see what I'm saying? And through reading, you know what I'm saying, what happened to you and thus and such in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, I was like, oh my God, I died. Because a man's a man's life is as a vapor.
He didn't know for sure if he died or not. He's saying he did. He just read the Bible and it said,
the next
I
moment's
died.
not promised to you. You know what I'm saying?
So the Bible tell you what death is like.
Because I wasn't sick. I was enjoying myself. I was doing around. I was, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think that was? You think that was, if we talking spiritual, do you think that was like God
testing me, maybe?
Because you said you were fine.
I was having a good time, bro. I was
healthy.
I was drunk. I was
high and drunk. Told you.
Queen Latifah.
But that doesn't take away from the experience.
He was high and drunk. No, listen to what I'm saying.
I've never been.
And you got somebody that's high and drunk in the club. Right. He say, pop. He fell face floor in the club. I believe the whole event. I'm just saying, I take that as a lesson. Like, nigga, your ass passed out face planted in the goddamn club. God, like, man, you need to get your shit together, bruh.
So you think he was just too high? He was just too faded and he just passed out?
You probably was living fast, moving fast, doing all sorts of bullshit. Ain't no telling what you was doing, but you was end up in the goddamn club to where you just pass out face forward. You said you died face forward in the goddamn club.
He probably was on some. Yeah, he was tripping. But that don't take away from the experience, though.
No, it don't. But what I'm saying to you is, nigga, you was high and drunk. How much of it do you remember?
That don't sound like nothing you forget.
So drunk niggas remember when they sleep and all that. So he said he died. He was just having a good time. Woo, 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 died. Bam, and then I'm back up.
No, he said he was in a windowsill. He said he was trying to walk. he started getting sick. Yeah. And he passed out.
Yeah.
And in that whole experience,
he didn't want nobody to take the seat right there.
Exactly.
So he sat down and took and whatever he did, I seen it. Yeah.
Truth is the truth.
Yeah.
So you're not saying that he's lying.
No, I'm not saying that the event didn't happen at all, but I'm just saying like I gotta experience it. Well, I don't want to experience no shit like that. Don't make me fall face. God, don't have me face planting to know that shit is real. I don't need all of that type of shit.
Oh, he'll show you what's up.
But I'm just saying, like, nigga, that just was like a sign. I think a nigga done passed out after he's doing what you do. He said he was high. I don't know what he.
How many times you been high and passed out and felt like you was falling? That ain't never happened to me. I think this was different than being high and drunk. I done been high and drunk. That I ain't never felt like I was in the abyss and it was dark and I was falling. Never.
Well. So it's all a feeling then. How do he know?
So you sound like you skeptical about this story. You don't believe it completely.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, I guess I gotta hear it from it gotta be a different setting for me for me to really feel like a person really died and this happened and can't, because the setting of it don't really.
You said he in the club, you faded, you just faded.
Ain't no telling, but I'm just saying the setting, bro. I'm not knocking the story or nothing, but the setting is kind of like
off-putting. I understand.
Come on, man. You in the club, drunk and high, and then blap, you hit the float. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. That setting, I don't know. It probably was hot as a motherfucker in that club. Ain't no telling. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yo,